What's up everyone, Kaze no What If is here with What If a Soul was sent into One Piece verse. Before we start, if you like the video, like it, share with your friends, comment, and let's start the video. This is the rewritten version. The original can be found on my profile, but that one is discontinued. So this is how it's gonna work. This is a One Piece story, but I'm not the only character. There's two new characters in this world, me and a friend. Oh, and no, I don't own One Piece, and this is also not the greatest fanfic of all time. This Bites will always hold that title. This story may follow my whims, but I don't plan on writing another till I finish this one. Feel free to follow the story if you like it, nothing wrong with knowing when it updates. Any questions, just ask in comments. If it needs to be answered immediately, I'll use the comments. If not, it'll be in the next chapter. All chapters will be at least 10k. I feel like it's the least I could do when writing. Besides, it allows me to improve my writing for the future, since I have to be more careful of mistakes due to how big the chapter is. If I keep making mistakes, I may keep needing longer times to edit, so by watching out for that I get better at writing. Also, it helps me learn to extend certain arcs. Finally, the start of this story is a bit inconsistent. It starts to pick up around chapter 3 or 4. Apologies for any confusion. It was 4 a.m. on a Friday. My alarm went off, signaling the start of the day. The song Feeling Like by Mix Williams, Food Dizzy 8, began to play. I'm on top of the world, you see I'm creasing my sneakers, huh. I keep on catching on fire, the flow is like ice, I'm feeling like Frisia, huh. You know that I'm cold, yeah, my army gone follow the leader, huh. All that I touch is probably gone turn to gold, man, I'm feeling like Frisia, huh. I turned off my alarm before walking downstairs for a soda. My choice of the day was a cold Sprite, my personal favorite. After finishing my drink and throwing the can in the recycling bin, I headed back upstairs. Alright, what am I gonna wear today? I walked over to my dresser, opening the part holding all my shirts, scanning over my options. Nah, I'm not feeling like red today. Maybe white? Nah. I'll just go with black, can't go wrong there. I then moved on to my pants, just taking out some gray sweatpants before moving to my underwear, taking a random pair. After all, my choice there doesn't matter much. I then moved on, grabbing my towel, body wash, shampoo, toothpaste, and toothbrush before going into the bathroom. It was a standard bathroom, 2 sinks, a toilet, a bathtub, and a tile floor. I took a shower, focusing on my hair more than usual. For some reason I had more energy. I felt like something interesting was gonna happen today. After drying off, putting on my clothes, and brushing my teeth, I put my hair into a ponytail before putting in my earrings and leaving the bathroom. I returned to my room, putting up the items and laying back down on my bed. At this point it was 4:30. I decided to read a little Marshall Peak. I just got to chapter 1000 and it was starting to get good. After reading a bit, I began watching some World Trigger. Partway through the episode, one had a thought. Asterisk grasshopper, huh? This anime looks like a fun place to be. Maybe I can go there someday. Asterisk eventually it was 6 o'clock and time for me to go. I walked up to the bus stop, waiting for the bus to arrive. Hey Jay, what's good? I turned towards the voice, seeing Jason. He was a good friend of mine, always there when I needed something. Hey you too. How's life? Another one of my friends said. Hey friend C. What's good? We called out at the same time. Jason. What the hell? Arya, Jason's girlfriend, shouted. Why did you leave me behind? Sorry about that. I thought you were right behind me. Jason said sheepishly. Hey Jay. She greeted me. Hey. You good? I asked. Yeah, it's just that this idiot keeps leaving me behind. She told me before turning towards Jason. I swear if you go missing one day, I'm hunting you down. Alright, I'm sorry. Come on, the bus is here. Jason continued, trying to calm her down. The bus arrived and we all got on greeting the driver. We sat down and turned to our own activities. Jason talked to his girlfriend. Friend C turned to social media. I turned to music while looking outside the window. Other than the extra energy, something else was weird about today. It was too ordinary. I wouldn't have gotten that feeling if nothing was going to happen. So if nothing happens soon, it means that what happens will likely change my life. Asterisk, oh wait, maybe I'll get another girlfriend. I mean, it's been 6 months. It's about time I catch a break. Asterisk. We eventually neared the school, hopping off the bus and going for breakfast. They had the same things they always have, less than appetizing cinnamon roll, milk, juice, and grapes. I handed the cinnamon roll off to friend C before leaving the lunchroom with Jason and Arya. Hey Jay, when are you planning on dating again? Jason asked me. You know how I am. I refuse to ask a girl out this year, school has to come first. When I graduate I'll worry about it then. I replied. What if a girl asks you? Arya inquired. I thought about it for a moment. Well, I don't have a choice then. Do I? I'll go out with her, I'll give any girl a chance. That's just how I am. I'll see you two later. I broke off from them, going over to my sitting spot, an area right outside the attendance office. I sat there waiting for the bell to ring just like every other day. As soon as the time hit 6:54, I began to head towards my English 11 class, getting there as the bell rang. I crossed the room, sitting one seat away from the back in the second row. My friend walked in saying hi as we went to our normal way of doing things. I sat in class not paying attention, deciding instead to read this bites. It's crazy to me the changes he makes. Nami becoming a supernova is a nice touch, as well as saving Mary with a devil fruit. It got me thinking about what I might do in the same situation. Before I could think of an answer, the bell rang again, signaling the end of class. I headed over to my second class, which was unfortunately English 12. I really should have done my work last year. Entering the room, I took my seat at the second table, waiting for the one friend I have in this class to show up. Friend A entered the room saying hi as he sat down. We never really did work in the class when we didn't have to. So just like always, we played games. We often played mini golf, which I often won. In 8 and 9 ball we were more or less even. I was never good at darts, the small phone I had made it difficult to aim. After class we took a walk around the school real quick, a routine we set up at the beginning of the year. After the walk he went home and I proceeded to the next class, which was psychology. I may be lazy, but I did the work in this class. Psychology was interesting and often had many good topics to talk about. Friend G, who I usually talk to in this class, showed up slightly late as always, taking the seat next to me. The topic of conversation eventually led towards the characters we created. I talked of a character who gets 1% stronger every day, starting at a power level of 1. The character after only 20 years would far surpass someone like Whis. He brought up someone who lives outside the plane of existence with a really interesting story. We went to lunch. I sat on my own watching One Piece, just getting into Wano arc due to falling behind after the Katakuri fight. Finally I proceeded to the final class of the day, Algebra 2. It was incredibly easy for me, however that wasn't necessarily the case for the attractive girl that usually sat next to me. I was interested but already decided against asking someone out this year. Also, I had no kind of confidence to ask a girl like her out. I usually stick to the average girls, the ones I'm on an equal level with. I helped this girl from time to time when she asked a question, but as it continued I realized another girlfriend wasn't happening. The girl simply wasn't interested. Finally the bell rang. It was the end of the day. I hopped on the bus and headed home. Right when I got home I had to leave again to pick up my niece. After picking her up I got a call. Hey friend S. What you need? Hey bro. You tryna play some Shinobi Striker? He offered. Sorry, I gotta go with Jason today. He said he needed some advice. Alright, hit me up when you're back. Alright. As I was leaving the house, my stepfather called out. I make sure you take out that trash before you go. He told me. Okay, I'll do it right now. I took out the trash and left my house to meet up with Jason. Apparently he wanted to have a talk about Arya. Hey Jay, what do you think about Arya? Don't you think she's a bit obsessive? Maybe, but can you blame her? She's gone through some tough times, you know that better than I. You helped her through all that, now she sees nothing but you, you're all she has left, so of course she's obsessive. If you disappeared, she'd probably fall into depression and eventually it'll lead to her dying from suicide or living an unfulfilled life. Help her through that so she can learn to live without you, until then you're gonna have to stick with her. Jason nodded. Alright, I can handle that. Let's head back. As we began walking back, the light faded from the sky and the world faded to black. Looking up, we saw thousands of human-like beings in the sky. They all descended until their apparent leader was eye level with us. Hello you two. We are the gods of this world. My name is YHDF, or Ya for short. I've come here to grant you a wish, cause I may or may not have messed up. The random god explained. What do you mean you messed up? We demanded. Well, you see, we hold a list of all the people that are alive on this planet. You two got crossed off that list due to being in the vicinity of an error, so you basically disappeared from the world altogether. What do you mean? Error? Well Jay, it's basically someone who died not dying. They remain there in a state of living. In order to solve this problem, we isolate that part of the world, influencing all nearby people to stay away before descending and taking the being to the afterlife ourselves. You two wandered in, so you were forced to get crossed off the list. Sorry about that. Wait, so you guys fucked up and we gotta die? Hey, he apologized. Shut up, said a woman in the background. Jason began to freak out. Damn, Arya is gonna start tripping. She gon' think I left her, what the hell? Yeah, hearing this spoke. It's alright, when it's her time to go I'll send her after you. So go on, make a wish. Jason calmed down. Send me into One Piece with a high-level devil fruit. That's all I need at the moment. As you wish. Suddenly Jason vanished. Now tell me what it is you want? I thought about it for a moment. Alright, before I make that decision I got a question. Go on. What the hell is wrong with you and making it impossible for me to get some bitches? I raged. The surrounding angels began laughing and Ya chuckled. I gave you all the tools, youngman. You even got average looks, you're just not trying. I fell to the ground in despair. I've only dated 3 girls in my life. I haven't even hugged a girl in the last 6 months. I stopped my self-pity and looked up to the god. Send me to One Piece as well with the best undying fruit I can get. No matter how long it takes, I will see Luffy become Pirate King, but more importantly I will get a girl. Ya smiled. Of course. And suddenly I was beginning to disappear. Oh, and fuck all of you, I shouted before fully leaving. One of the angels frowned. I swear he's not getting away with that. I was flying through a void. All around me was multiple kinds of anime. Some fanfics made reality, and even movies that were brought to life. All of fiction existed here. All of existence was shown before my eyes. I saw the rest of my life if the god didn't fuck up. I would have graduated and got a decent job living an average life. It seems my life would have stayed ordinary. Maybe this is a good change of place. I reached out, touching one of the worlds, seeing a few flashes of a man with a snail and a expanded crew. Must have been the world of this bites. I saw the god that governed over that world with a crooked grin over his face as he saw Cross go through many trials. I touched another. This time I saw a friend of mine, but an alternate version. He was sent to One Piece earning an elemental sword and looking to become the best sword man. there was another with him as an assassin with the nightmare fruit. As well as one more of him as an ice dragon, all of these starting in one piece. Finally I approached a world of great interest, one with Jason. Apparently others have gone to this world before, two of which looked familiar. Looking across the worlds once more, I realized that all of fanfiction must have existed here. Anything written appeared. If that's true, that means my story will probably be written by another version of myself. I was getting excited, and as I started falling into the world I fell unconscious. I suddenly woke up on a beach. It was hot and humid. I never had to deal with this living in Vegas. This was a different kind of heat, the kind that made you want water but forced you to go without due to the inability to drink sea water unless you wanna die. I checked my pocket and found my throwaway phone. A throwaway phone is something you use to download things that you wouldn't have on your main phone. The phone was an iPhone 6s with a Minato case, and inside that a picture of Luffy, due to him being my favorite character from One Piece. All I had downloaded on here was my music, but unfortunately the phone was on 50, seems I wouldn't be able to use it for much. In the same pocket as the phone was a ring I carried everywhere. It had the numbers 2022 engraved on it, meant to symbolize the year I was supposed to graduate. I checked my other pocket and found my AirPods. It was nice to have, but just like the phone it wouldn't last long. Along with the AirPods was a weirdly colored ball. I decided to just pocket it again and leave it for later. I also had a rubber ball with the straw hat symbol on it. I looked around the island and saw a nearby town. I began walking towards the town, but before I got very far I was spotted. Roar. I turned towards the sound, seeing a small T-Rex. It may have been a child, but it was still a man-eating beast. What the hell? Is that a dinosaur? That's fucking awesome. Wait, how do I use my devil fruit again? I tried willing it to work, but nothing happened. Is there a chance I didn't get it yet? I began thinking until I heard another roar, but this time much closer. You gotta be fucking kidding me, why are you chasing me? Turns out it was chasing a small bird, but the second I yelled it turned its attention to the meteor prey. The dinosaur came at me, trampling bushes as it dashed forward. Now if there was one thing I was proud of, it was my ability to run the hell away when facing something terrifying. I had a lot of experience after all. I remember back when me and a couple friends of mine decided to explore the sewers. Sounds disgusting, but it wasn't all that bad until on the way back we saw a red light. Now I was the first one to turn and run, as well as the one black man in the group. And if you know anything about us, we don't fuck with things we can't physically hit, and my first thought was a ghost. To say the least, I was the first one out of there. Everyone else ran too, but got out noticeably later than I. So with all my experience I ran as if an entire army of ghosts were chasing me. Unfortunately the dinosaur, despite being a child, was still quite big, and as a result had a much larger stride. It was much faster than me and was gaining on me slowly. I decided to lead it in multiple turns, slowly losing it due to my superior ability of turning, thanks to my running track in high school, or at least my wanting to. I never put in the effort to actually try out. I eventually decided to flee into the forest, believing I could get away then. It continued chasing me, unrelenting in its assault. I was starting to get incredibly tired and was starting to wonder how it kept finding me. I felt a sharp pain in my shoulder, and when I turned to take a look I noticed a shallow cut. This bastard had been tracking me by the smell of my blood. How the hell do I get away? I tore off a piece of my shirt using my low strength, so it took longer than I care to admit. I wrapped the wound and allowed it to soak up the blood before removing the cloth and wiping away the wound. I began running once more, leading it through the forest until eventually it began lagging behind. Out in the distance I noticed a cave. I decided it'd be best to explore it. I haven't yet found my devil fruit, so I needed to look around. Once inside the cave I noticed a light shining at the very back. I walked through the cave till I was face to face with the source of light. What is this? I asked aloud. In front of me was this. This is a devil fruit encyclopedia, only the royals and the highest of pirate society can have these. What's this light with the battery symbol? The light flew forward before splitting into 3 parts, a bit going into my phone, as well as some into my AirPods, and the last bit flew off into the distance. Immediately I checked my phone and it was now fully charged, and after looking through the encyclopedia I found a page labeled passive lights. Passive lights, these are lights anyone can come across and find as many as they want. It grants a passive ability at no cost to the user. However, you don't choose the light chooses its owner, so no matter how many you find, you might never find one for you. I continued reading until I came across the one with the battery symbol. This fruit gives the recipient an infinite source of energy, only needing sleep once a week. Any form of energy the user obtains will be endlessly cycled throughout the body. Be careful though, you are still susceptible to being knocked unconscious and your muscles still become tired even if your mind does not. Finally, if given to a person, they can still eat a devil fruit, so, also these lights are also capable of a kind of awakening. Okay, so these passive abilities are everywhere in this version of One Piece. I wonder who else has them, asterisk, I thought to myself. I decided to take time and read through the encyclopedia. Here are some of the entries. If y'all would like to see any of these random entries in the future, let me know. I won't go over ones already planned for the story, just ones that aren't. Curse fruit, Logia. This fruit allows you to control and become the cursed element. The cursed element is a black and red swarm of sand-like particles. Infecting anyone with this element will slowly deal damage over time. The more of this that invades an enemy, the faster they die. This ability in small doses terrorizes surrounding people, causing them to flee. Note that those with strong will can overcome the curse. This ability is best at crowd control and AoE damage. Dog fruit, model Anubis, mythical Zoan. This fruit turns the user into a dog based off the mythical creature Anubis. Any enemy that stands before it and answers 3 questions will be crippled. This have their strength as well as taking away the ability to use their devil fruit. If an ally appears before this fruit, their strength is doubled. Best for support and tipping the scales in your favor. Pun somewhat intended. Fish fruit, model Megalodon, ancient Zoan. This fruit turns the user into a giant shark. Despite it being a sea animal, it still can't swim. Instead, flight was granted to this terrifying creature that is big enough to swallow a ship whole. Ant fruit, Zoan type. This fruit grants the user a massive increase in strength. In a full transformation, the user can burrow into the floor and catch enemies by surprise. In a partial transformation, the user is shrunk to the size of an ant. If you ate this fruit because of fire, because you have an increased vulnerability to that now. Feather fruit, Paramecia. This fruit allows the user to control and turn into feathers. These feathers don't hit very hard, but the user has flight, and with Haki training they could throw out Haki enhanced projectiles. This ability may be a Paramecia, but it's similar to a Logia, turning into feathers that make it hard to hit this opponent because of their ability to move with the wind. Alright, one for each type. Let me know if y'all wanna see any. Also, if you have a suggestion of your own you'd like to see in writing, I can always add that one too. I understand some people hate when there are a lot of random characters, but it's not like I'll allow them to all be extremely relevant. After I finished reading through the first page, I left the cave. I still haven't found my devil fruit and I would need it later on. Before I could even take 2 steps out of the cave, I was suddenly in a bright room. The floor was that of water and nothing existed there except a single throne. The person sitting in that seat looked very familiar. What the hell, yeah, why am I here? I asked. What was sitting there wasn't yeah, but rather one of his female subordinates who was laughing. Ha! That's what you get, that'll teach you to not disrespect my beloved Yat. The deity continued to laugh. Who the hell are you? Well, for future reference, I'm no Yat, I mean you can't see the halo and immediately think God, that's immortalist. That doesn't tell me who you are. I replied plainly. Oh right. I'm AQ, wait no, that's the other one. What's my name again? I haven't used it in a while. The deity whispered to herself. Take your time. I took a seat waiting. Oh yeah? The deity shouted. My name is Kojika. I'm the favorite of Yat, he's the deity that presides over all of existence. He's getting old and might step down one day, and when he does he'll likely give it to his favorite person, me. Okay Kojika, I may go ahead and assume you're the self-proclaimed favorite from the way you talk. Now what the hell are these passive light things? It's not self-proclaimed. One of these days I'll rule over all of existence. She yelled. Ryigt. I said sarcastically. I'm more likely to get that title than you, and I'm not even a god. You know what, fuck you. She screamed. Oh, I can get behind that. Fucking a deity, y'all gotta feel heavenly. Are you sure it's okay, cause we can do it anytime? I offered. What? No. You know. Why would I offer myself to you? I'm a deity of the highest degree. I would never sink that low. Geez, you can't take a joke, you're pretty boring, you know. What? I'm not boring. I'll have you know. Blah blah blah. Blah blah, blah blah blah. Blah 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 blah. She paused for a second. Hey, are you listening to me or not? Oh, sorry about that, I zoned out. Can you tell me about these passive lights or not? I asked calmly. Aw. I hate you. I hate you. I hate you. I hate you. Why couldn't I been given another world? All the people that come here are so mean. Those passive lights are complete bullshit. I made them up and just gave them to people. You were complaining about your phone eventually dying, so I gave you some energy for it. Wait, then can I have one? Have what? One of those passive light things. How come I don't get one? I just gave you one. No, you gave my phone one, that doesn't count. Alright then, what do you want? How about everything in the game has a status that I can read showing me all their stats, kinda like a game. No, someone in another One Piece world already has something similar. Okay then, how about it only shows me their level as well as their strength and weaknesses? That can be arranged. I'll add it to your devil fruit abilities. Just enter your Wraith world by closing your eyes, and when you see an enemy you want to see the strength and weaknesses of, focus on them and it'll appear. All weaker enemies in this will not be shown so as to not cause overflow in your brain. Only stronger enemies can be monitored. Also, after defeating an enemy you gain their base attributes. To put it simply, if someone is insanely strong without abilities and you beat them, you get a huge boost in strength matching that, but if an enemy relies on their abilities your increase will be smaller. Also, to see weaknesses you have to interrogate someone that would know them. Is that good enough for you? Quick note, it's not gonna have too many game elements, only a few here and there. I don't think I could write this story if I was living in a game. In other words, I don't have an HP bar or anything like that, only game elements are the ones I've stated. Also, I don't know how strong I am other than looking at LV, which if someone can guess what that's based off of, congratulations. Yeah, that's great. One question though, where do I find my devil fruit? It's in your pocket, idiot. She shouted. But all I found in my pocket that wasn't there before was this weirdly colored ball. It's a grape, eat it and you can get your devil fruit abilities. Dumbass. Oh, that makes sense. Thanks, you can send me back now. Right, now that you got your devil fruit I better not see you here for a while, good luck. She waved. Oh. I added an item drop system too, though it's only the same item each time. Suddenly I was gone. I suddenly woke up in the forest. It was hot and humid. I never had to deal with this living in Vegas. This was a different kind of heat, the kind that made you want water but forced you to go without due to the inability to find any in this cursed forest. Your only thought is to escape unless you wanna die. Wait, this feels familiar, right? This whole thing is still not a dream. Asterisk. Now first things first, what time is it? Wait, and what's that item drop system she was talking about? Asterisk. I got up and walked back towards the town, deciding to eat my devil fruit later. I didn't want to lose my ability to swim when I haven't gone swimming in so long. Actually, after I got what I needed, swimming was the first thing I was going to do. I entered the town and everything was pretty lively. There were guards posted outside that were noticeably not Marines. Probably guarding from pirate and beast attacks. Inside the town everyone seemed to be happy, and though it was a small town everyone had their own responsibilities. Which made it quite clear I didn't belong. Suddenly a man appeared on my shoulder. "Hey, what are you doing here? Who are you? What's the outside world like? Oh. And how did you get here when no boat is capable of sailing this far into the calm belt?" he asked rapidly. "Wait, calm belt? I'm in the calm belt right now?" A woman appeared in front of me, also overly excited. "Of course you're in the calm belt, where else would you be? What's more is no one has access to this island at all. We were all brought here 18 years ago as a safe place. The Marines can't even get close because the master destroys all their ships." "He destroys all the Marine ships? How is that possible?" I asked, still a little panicked. "Well, the master is an ex-pirate who uses the tame fruit. No matter what kind of beast you are, you're forced to bow to her. They say her power even extends to mythical zoans that undergo full transformations. She's the only one that chooses who has passage here. She even conquered a beast said to be almost as powerful as Gold Roger himself," she explained. "Well then, how would I go about meeting this master?" "You can't." The women started. "She meets you. If she thinks you have potential, then he'll come to you." "Really? And what shows her you have potential?" "Only one thing. No one has ever accomplished it, but he said if anyone mastered her water walk technique she'd appear." "Has anyone ever attempted it?" "Yes." The man answered. "But everyone on the island already gave up learning. Here's the book if you wanna try," he said, tossing a book to me. I looked through the book, but everything was blank, except one page that read, "Believe and it shall happen." Believe and it'll happen. What the hell? That is the most cliché shit I've ever read. Asterisk, I shouted internally. I thought for a moment about burning the book over a fire and seeing if that would get the master's attention, but decided I'd humor the idea. In a world of One Piece, willpower lets you accomplish amazing things. Maybe this was one of them. One more question. What's the significance of 18 years ago? Why did you guys come here at that time? I asked. That was the day of the Pirate King's death. They told me. Alright, so that means we're about 2 years before the start of the show. Asterisk, I realized internally. I left the village, walking all the way back to the beach, and put my phone off to the side. I placed my AirPods in my ear, hoping that the deity made them waterproof. I began playing Worst Generation by Shofu and Matt Houston. My choice of music isn't popular, but who cares? It works for me. They done let the monster out. Chopper shit what I be on, Kyuzen on my neck and wrist, Yozu with the diamonds on, belly of the beast these nig asterisk s stacking up they pockets wrong. Hit him like a pacifist, he bug and leave his body gone. Knock it off. I'd keep going, but clearly the lyrics are pretty explicit. Besides, we gotta get back to the story. Check out the songs if you want, though I can't guarantee the ones I put here from time to time will be good. I was feeling really good about myself, like I had all the motivation in the world. I stepped out into the water and immediately it was all wiped away. Why? Because I fell in. I slowly got out of the water. Believe and it shall happen. That was complete bullshit. I'm not stopping till I get this down. For the next week I woke up every day and for 4 hours I tried to walk on water. On the final day, 28 hours into this, I sat down. Who the hell is this master of theirs, Jesus? How the hell am I supposed to walk on water? I asked no one at all. I decided I'd calm down and try once more. I walked up to the water and placed a foot on the surface. Asterisk alright, think Sanji could walk in the sky, so I could at least walk on water. I mean, it's just a liquid platform. Asterisk I felt the water on my feet. I felt the platform I was supposed to walk on. I stood up finally above the water. It only lasted a second, but I did it. Let's go. Finally. I began to practice for the next week until I could even run on the water. The water was now a solid surface to me. I could even fall on it and be okay. Alright, this is the final night, so I'll try something else. I laid down on the water believing that the water was as soft as pillows, and it worked. I then fell asleep, and when I woke up I was back on the shore. I was dry, so I assumed I succeeded. As I stood up I decided that now was the best time to eat my devil fruit. I took the grape out of my pocket before throwing it into the air and catching it in my mouth, swallowing it whole. The taste made it the worst thing I've ever eaten. Then again, that's not saying much since the second worst thing was broccoli as a child. I enjoy it now though. Figuring out abilities. Alright, so how does this ability work? Asterisk I asked myself. I began to think of ways to make it work. Asterisk depending on what the ability is, I could just kill myself. I might find out, wait, no, that is not the right option, never is. The god said something about Wraith World, so maybe I should start with that. Asterisk. I closed my eyes and saw nothing but black. I began to imagine that my eyes were open and slowly a dark world was shown before me. The creatures surrounding me were shown in a blue glow. I walked back to the village with the ability still active. As I reached the outside I saw the guards, each with a 20 above their heads. Looking closer I could see their strengths. Joseph Village Guard, LV. 20. Strengths. Immunities, immune to poisons. Hates, enraged when villager is hurt. Class traits, enhanced swordsmanship, enhanced accuracy, high resilience. Bonuses, passive light, training, allowing him to train and reach higher heights than most. Weaknesses. Locked due to lack of interrogation. I only looked at the one, but that's got me wondering about my own information. I decided to focus on my hand when my information popped up. J, below average human, LV. 1. Strengths. Immunities, immune to death. Immune to spiritual attacks. Hates, enraged by harm of a loved one. Class traits, none. Bonuses, passive light, shadow of war, lives with the level system of this game. Devil fruit, wraith fruit, undying and allows a lot of wraith-like techniques. When defeating an enemy you gain all of their strength. When dying you get stronger, though watch out, cause if you die enough, goodbye. Beating an enemy gives you an extra weapon. Don't get too excited, it's just a rubber ball like the one you already had with different attributes. People less than half your level won't show a level in the Wraith world. Weaknesses. Mortally, none. Vulnerability, elemental attacks. Dazed by, death of comrade. Hints, he's still weak, this is your best chance to kill him. WoW gaming system is against me. That's to be expected, I guess. He's still weak, seriously. It's not my fault I'm weak, I come from Earth. Level 1. What the hell, I thought I'd be at least level 5. Wait, below average human. The hell is that supposed to mean? You got a problem with me? It's probably that fucking deity. You know what, it's okay, she just hating. She gotta sit up there all day bored and I get to be down here having fun. A voice came in through my AirPods which I had in playing music. The song I was playing is Trippin' by Ham Sandwich and Kamagod. The music choice is determined by what's playing in my ear at the time of me writing down a song. Anyways, the song was interrupted with a voice. I can hear you. I'm not hating either, I was just telling the truth. I went to sit somewhere far off before continuing the conversation. First of all, what the hell? Second, how the hell can you speak to me right now? I yelled/asked. Well then, First of all, I'm God here, I can do what I want. Second, wait, I just answered that. Anyways, what's the problem? What do you mean weak and below average? If it was up to me, I'd say I'm pretty decent. I complained. Aw, too bad it ain't up to you, huh? According to this world's standards, you gotta be the weakest person on the planet. She clarified. What? I'm at least stronger than Kobe. And if not him, I'm stronger than Rika from Shell's Town. Wait, are you trying to say I'm weaker than Hell Mepo? Yes, you are. The average strength of people on Earth usually begins at LV.1 and here the lowest is LV.2. She explained. Wait, I can walk on water and I got a devil fruit, that's gotta count for something. Also, it seems like my devil fruit is a zoan, doesn't that increase my strength or something? No. The best you can do is come back from death, and even that's limited. Until you awaken your fruit, you're not getting any stat boost unless you die, that is. Or you can just go beat someone and gain strength, you can still learn devil fruit abilities or even work out to become a little stronger. Remember, you're highly capable of becoming one of the strongest from your passive ability alone. And what ability is that? I questioned. When you beat someone who can talk, in other words animals don't count unless they have high intellect, you gain their strength. Okay, and how does that work? I asked her, confused. Well, your level system is different. When you beat someone, instead of getting some kind of experience, you completely gain the strength of their base state. In other words, if someone is higher level due to a powerful devil fruit, your strength won't climb. But if someone is naturally strong, you'll get stronger much faster from beating them. She paused for a moment to let that sink in. You're a special zoan type 1 without a stat increase since yours grows with you. All zoans do that, but they apply some kind of other stats. Since yours is based on a wraith, which is basically a powerful spirit, it instead grows in power with you without the initial stat increase. So I get no benefits initially from this fruit other than not dying for a limited time. Exactly, but when you awaken it, this fruit may just be useful. Right, thanks for clarifying. I replied sarcastically. Okay, back to the level system. If someone has the flame fruit, their strength may only be LV 75, but with it they can jump up to 500. You gain the strength of a 75, not a 500. Okay, but how does the gaining strength thing work? Well, first you beat your opponent either through killing him or you being made the clear winner. After that you gain their strength like addition. So 12 equals 3 and so on. Also, if anyone is ever 10% of your level, they give no increase. Wait, so what if I killed a high-level person who was brought to the brink of death? Then the increase will be significantly lower. You only gain the strength of what they were at when you first came into contact with them. Alright, thanks, that clarifies things a little. So can you just pop in at any time? Yeah, so if you call me a bitch again, I'll be making your life so much harder. She threatened. I began to sweat hearing that. I slowly removed my AirPods before deciding that she never heard that. I turned and walked away, to head back into town. Meeting my master. For the next week I started exercising. One of the things I noticed is that in this world exercise shows much faster results. Back on Earth you had to exercise for at least a year to obtain the look you want, but here it only took me a week to become average in this world. It's not like I did a lot of exercise either. I only did 20 push-ups, 20 sit-ups, and a quick run every day. I was finally LV 3, which was more than enough for me. Alright, let's see how much my aim has improved, I said aloud. Realizing that the best I was gonna get was a rubber ball and my fist for weapons, I decided to improve my aim. Every day this week I have been working on my aim and finally was able to hit my intended target 9 times out of 10. I haven't learned ricochet yet though. I closed my eyes to see the entire area, and that's when I noticed the figure in the trees. The surrounding area was simply a beach right outside a large forest. so it was quite obvious when a large part of the forest was consumed by a bright light. Within that bright light was a single figure whose level was a little too high. Master Tamer Kozumai Roger Pirate, LV. 1500. Strengths. Immunities, immune to all zoans and beasts, master of all sea kings on this side of the calm belt. Immune to all forms of mind control. Immune to devil fruit weakness. Hates, enraged when villager is hurt, enraged by mentions of her age, enraged when a family member is threatened. Class traits, beast master, enhanced whip technique, high resilience, conqueror's haki, observation haki good enough to read surface thoughts, armament haki. Bonuses, passive light, eternal youth, allowing her to keep a youthful appearance. Devil fruit, Hito no Mi, model beast god, all beast bend to her whim including mythical zoans that aren't based on humans. Weaknesses. Locked due to lack of interrogation. Hint, don't provoke or you'll die. Okay, then she may or may not kill me eventually, I'm not too good at not provoking. When the hell was this character in the show anyways? Oh well, I'll just act like I don't see her asterisk. Aw, that's not nice at all. You're gonna just ignore me? The woman said. Fuck, she can read surface thought asterisk, I shouted internally. Yeah, and it's really easy to read the thoughts of someone without observation haki. I'm quite interested in how you gained so much information on me. Hopefully your answer is one I'd like, otherwise that whole internal conversation about not provoking me, well, let's just say it won't happen again. Well, if she kills me I'll just come back stronger, so I guess it doesn't matter then again, I wouldn't want that kind of pain asterisk. Oh, an immortal, huh? Well, I can guarantee I can make you suffer for at least 10 years before getting rid of you. She smiled menacingly. Fuck these surface thoughts, fine, I'll just speak normally asterisk, I decided. Kozumai smiled. Asterisk, finally. I know this kid isn't trouble, but I need to know where he gets his information from. He just recited all my strengths like he was reading a book asterisk, she thought to herself. Alright, go ahead and ask your questions. I don't have the time to worry about whether I'm dying or not. Let's hurry this up, I told her. Well, alright then. Question 1, where did you get your information on me? She asked. Straight to the point, huh? I took a seat on top of a nearby rock. You might as well join me, I can tell this conversation will be a long one. Kozumai stepped out of the shadows and I could finally see what she was wearing. Her hair was a glossy shade of black that reached down to her chest. She had piercing purple eyes that seemed like they glowed and a smile that promised anything but kindness. She was clearly a hardened pirate and her attire seemed to suit her perfectly, showing off all of her curves. She wore a short black kipeo with a purple floral pattern, a slit on the side showed off her upper thigh and the way she had the top showed off her generous cleavage. This woman looked no older than 30 and probably held the title of Pirate Empress before Boa based on her beauty alone. She whistled and a tiger came running from the jungle with a large piece of cloth. She placed the cloth on a rock across from me and took a seat with the tiger circling around her back to provide more comfort. The way she sat showed off even more of her thighs. If it wasn't for the fact that I prefer girls my age, I likely would have been a complete mess in front of this woman. Or maybe it was because she was taller than me at 6 feet 5 inches while I'm only 6 feet 0 inches, it may have hurt my pride a little. So are we gonna sit here staring at each other or are you gonna answer my question? She asked impatiently. I wouldn't mind option 1, but I guess you want your questions answered, so we'll do that. I teased lightly. Anyways, the reason I know my information is due to a deity named Kojika giving me the ability to see the strengths and weaknesses of people as well as level. When I noticed you in the tree, it immediately showed me the information. According to your thoughts, it doesn't seem like you're lying, but do you expect me to believe that? Yes, I could prove it if you like, I offered. Go on. I know that poor Gasti Ace, the son of Roger, set out to become a pirate a year ago. Also I know 2.5 years from now he will be executed at Marineford, something I plan to stop. I explained. A blast of energy came from Kozumi leveling part of the forest. Who dares to kill my godson? She asked angrily. If you wanna stop it, show up at Marineford on that day. I'll believe you, but I need a favor. She calmed down so she wouldn't scare the villagers. What is that? I have no access to the outside world because the news crew stay away from here. I need you to inform me when the time comes. Do you have a number for a transponder snail I could use? No, but you can always check if the number of this device works. I said, holding up my phone. What the hell is that? She asked. Right, I believe I can trust you, so I'll tell you about my most important secret. I don't come from this world. That deity brought me here after death, which is partially where I get my information from. That explains why your energy seems slightly different from everyone else I met. Wait, there were 2 others with this energy before. They rivaled our captain. Are they from your world as well? When I came through the void here, I saw other people from my work who came here, so it's likely. How is my energy different? Everyone I've met shows a white energy, you however and those other 2 show a gray one. It's only a slight difference, but I guess if I didn't believe you before, I do now. That makes sense, I guess. Anyways, the number for this device is XXXXXXXX. Kozumi proceeded to put in the number, and the sound of my phone ringing could be heard. Is it supposed to do that? I nodded. It seems like it works. Alright, you need to be strong enough to get to that side of the Grand Line, so I'll jumpstart your training. She whistled once more and a giant dragon landed in front of her. Hop on. The dragon showed a level of 500. I immediately hopped on. I always wanted to fly a dragon at least once. The dragon took off flying much faster than I expected, and I gotta say it was fun as hell. Woohoo! I gotta get me one of these. I shouted. Training arc. The dragon landed on what I could only assume was a sky island. The problem was that it was much lower in altitude than where the actual sky islands were. Also, there were no clouds, it was just a mass of dirt floating in the sky. There was a platform leading away to another larger island where all the beasts roamed. In front of us on the smaller island was a house. To compare, this looked like a barren version of an ice lobby. On the larger island you had a forest as well as a clearing in the middle of that. How did all of this get up here? I asked, curious. Well, there's only one fruit that could keep something floating for this long. It was the Fuwa Fuwa no Mi of Golden Lion Shiki, one of Roger's other rivals. She replied. Wait, so he just did this and decided to never cancel it? No, of course not. Vegapunk was capable of utilizing devil fruits in machinery, and I heard he's trying to make some super soldiers. He's been trying for a while now, but I figured it out. All you need is a piece of the person's DNA, and then you bend the cells to do what you want before cutting off that connection. It took me 10 years to figure it out. I obtained some of his hair a while back in a fight, and surprisingly it somehow was still on one of my whips. She explained. That actually makes the most sense for why certain things exist in this world. I whispered. Oh. What's the first thing we're doing for training? Well, for the next 3 months you have a few things to go over before you're powerful enough for the blues. She told me. The first thing you'll focus on is strength. You'll be doing 50 push-ups, 100 sit UPS, 100 leg lifts, and finally a 20k finish every single day. You'll be focused on speed since you're definitely not the power type. She instructed. A few flashes of me over this month doing just that was shown. At the beginning I was barely getting past and was always sore by the end of the day. Near the end I was able to complete the entire exercise in an hour. The second part of your training will consist of knowledge. You have a vast majority of knowledge, but it wouldn't do for you to forget. We'll be training your memory as well as making sure you know about basic sickness and navigation. This time flashes of me reading after my workouts was what was shown. It was extremely boring, but by the end my memory had increased to the point where I can remember something if I know what I'm looking for. No more horrible moments when I enter a room and forget why I'm there, now I'll remember immediately. Third, we're gonna work on your abilities and fighting style. You were given the word wraith, so anything you associate with the wraith you can likely do. I thought back to my status and remembered the Shadow of War reference. Those were going to be the basis for most of my abilities. Good, now that you know what you want to base your abilities off of, you gotta pick a fighting style. She commanded. I'll go with brawling. I told her. So I'll give you some iron braces of mine for your forearms so you can stop sword attacks. You'll get it at the end. I'll now teach you 2 kinds of brawling that fit your speed. You'll also learn to fight many different kinds of enemies with what you got. That's the 4th part of your training. Flashes of me training as well as getting my ass beat in the forest by everything was shown. The month went by in a flash. Now we only have one more area to touch on. What is it that you need me to do? I asked. I must take away one of the weaknesses you men tend to have, she said menacingly. My hands immediately went down, covering up. Hell no. You are not taking away my shit. She began to laugh. I didn't mean that weakness, I'm sure you still have uses for it. She smirked. A flash of embarrassment went across my face. She pulled me closer, making me push up against her chest, which only led to a more embarrassing moment. That weakness is the one we're going to fix. You can't be in the middle of a fight and decide to hold back just because they're a girl. If they chose to be a fighter, then there is no reason for you to hold back. Chivalry will get you killed in this world. For the next month I was trained to control my emotions and urges. By the end it was simply a switch I could turn on and off. Departure. Jay, are you sure you're done training and ready to go in the world? I'll tell you now, I've run with the best this world has to offer, and the world is dangerous, was her question. Yes, I must find a partner of my own, someone who I can trust to stand by me. After I find her, I'll train her to the best of my ability and help her get what she needs before returning here until it's time for me to find my crew, was my immediate response. Kozumi, thank you so much for everything. For helping me get the hang of my power and keeping me well fed while I was here. Kozumi whistled, summoning her tiger. In the tiger's mouth was a bag. She handed the bag to me, and inside was the iron braces she promised. The iron, however, was black. Wait, why is it black? Did you paint it? I asked. No, it's not painted. Think of the black blades. After a while the blade turns black because of the excess of haki used on it. These are the same way I used them all my life, and now I'm giving them to you. No one without stronger haki than mine can break it, she explained proudly. I immediately put them on. Thank you, I said with the utmost sincerity as a smile crossed my face. Kozumi smiled at that. There's no need for that between us. I'm your mentor, but even more than that, I see you as a little brother, even though I'm old enough to be your grandmother. Either way, the point is, if you ever need help, just call my snail, and when the time comes and you need to save Ace, let me know. A strange thought popped into my head. Wait, doesn't that make me Ace's uncle? I mean, if he's your godson and I'm like a brother, that means I'm like an uncle to him and Luffy, and Sabo. Nah, I'm not gonna think about how that works. Another thought popped in my head. Wait, you can swim even though you ate a devil fruit, how did you do that? Kozumi thought about it for a moment. Well, it's like everything else, you end up building up an immunity over long periods of time. For the first 10 years I was here, I had sea stone cuffs on. I was about to run out on the water until I realized something. How do I leave? This is the calm belt and I don't want to be eaten. Kozumi realized the same. Oh yeah, sorry about that. She whistled, and from the water came a huge beast at least the size of Marineford. Sea Angel, Kozumi's summon, LV. 2000. Strengths. Immunities, immune to other sea kings except its father and mother. Hates, enraged by harm to master. Class traits, pack master, all nearby sea kings bow to it. Bonuses, son of sea god. Weaknesses. Locked due to lack of interrogation. After my surprise was subdued, I hopped on the beast as it swam away. J, above average human, LV. 20. Abilities. Wraith world, a world in which all people are shown as a soul of sorts. I can also see enemy levels. Domination, control someone or something through coming into contact with them and using the ability. Wraith fist, allows me to hit the spirit directly, can be used to hit Logias. Rider vs. J. So can we talk about how my first 3 abilities shown are legit hacky abilities? W, what no they aren't. J, Wraith world is observation without slowing down attacks or seeing the future. Wraith fist is that newer version of hacky, they both do the same thing. Domination is a better version of conquerors if you ever learn a wide-scale version. W, okay, that's a good point. J, exactly. There better be some actual fighting in this next chapter. W, no promises, the story follows my whims, remember. J, I swear I better get some motherfucking action. Oh, and who the fuck is Arya? She wasn't in the original. W, well, you see, I needed her, so Jason also gets a partner. J, so is he still evil like he was supposed to be in the last one, or are you changing the villain? W, I can't tell you who, but I think I might do another villain. Someone already introduced in the story, but who could that be? J, well, we'll never know until we get there, I guess. W, yep, until next time, first chapter of Rewrite I done. Comment if you need some. The next chapter should be out sometime. Follow or do what needs to be done so you can get the notification. I don't know what you actually have to do to get the notifications, but it's something. J, bye people. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you liked it, subscribe to my channel for more fan fictions like this, and goodbye.